10 things you never knew about the Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank takes over cable. There is a very good reason this movie is on basic cable nearly every day. Ted Turner sold the distribution rights to his network TNT, opening the door for it to be one of the most aired films. According to the Wall Street Journal, it tied with Scarface for the second most aired film in 2013, sitting behind Mrs. Doubtfire in first place. Eating bugs is cruel. The ASPCA objected to the scene depicting Brooks as he feeds his pet crow a live maggot. The animal rights group declared that it was cruel to the maggot, so the crew had to find one that died of natural causes before shooting the scene, according to IMDb. What are you in for? While the film doesn't tell us exactly what Brooks and Red are serving time for, the novella does. Brooks was convicted of murdering his wife and daughter after a bad gambling streak. Red killed his wife for the insurance money, inadvertently killing 2 other people in the process. I guess the filmmakers thought we wouldn't like the characters as much if their sins were revealed. A vampire in Shawshank. The role of rockabilly rebel Tommy Williams was originally intended for Brad Pitt. Unfortunately for the film's producers, Pitt was busy showing his fangs in Interview with the Vampire. Gil Bellows ended up playing this small but crucial role in the film, and he did a great job. A film by any other name. King's novella was entitled Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. The name was changed to prevent audiences from being confused, as some people thought it was a Rita Hayworth biopic. IMDb even reports that Hollywood actresses and agents attempted to snag the non-existent role of Hayworth prior to the film's production. The check is in the mail. Stephen King sold the rights to his novella to director Frank Darabont for $5,000 in the late 1980s, according to the Wall Street Journal. King never cashed the check, and he had it framed and sent to Darabont, along with a note that stated, "In case you ever need any bail money. Love, Steve." Passing up a plum role. The list of people considered for roles in The Shawshank Redemption reads like a who's who of 1990 Hollywood's elite. Tom Cruise, Johnny Depp, Tom Hanks, and Kevin Costner were all considered. Hanks turned it down because of his commitment to Forrest Gump. Costner passed because he was working on Waterworld. Ultimately, Forrest Gump ended up beating The Shawshank Redemption for Best Picture at the Oscars, so I guess Hanks was fairly smug about that. There's a good reason that the mugshot of Red you see in the film looks so much like Morgan Freeman. That photo is actually a picture of Freeman's son, Alfonso Freeman. He is also heard yelling, "Fresh fish," as the new convicts are entering the prison.
That's God's honest truth.
Like father, like son. Morgan Freeman's son, Alfonso Freeman, modeled for the photos of a young Red on the parole forms. Red's parole photo. This son of Freeman also appeared in some of his father's other films, including Seven and The Bucket List.
What do you think?
Morgan Freeman pitches for 9 hours. The opening scene between Andy and Red took 9 hours to shoot. Freeman kept throwing the ball the entire time, but showed up the next day wearing a sling on his arm. Salvation lies within. Andy Dufresne cut his Bible in the shape of a rock hammer to hide his escape tool. The page of the book where Andy began cutting is symbolic. He chose the book of Exodus, representing his escape from bondage, just as the Jews escaped the bondage imposed by the Pharaoh in the Bible. Morgan Freeman plays an Irishman. In King's novella, the character Red is an Irishman. Robert Redford, Clint Eastwood, Paul Newman, and Harrison Ford were all considered for the role. In the end, Freeman won out because his voice was perfect for the narration of the film.
breaks your heart.
Red's line in the film about being Irish was added as a joke that only readers of the novella would catch. Film location. The film was shot at the Ohio State Reformatory, which was scheduled for demolition. But because of the success of the movie, the Reformatory is now a popular museum.